From CitrusTV News, this is a special report.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime event, the total solar eclipse. Good afternoon and welcome to Citrus TV Special Report. I'm Cora Mayer-Costa. We're here today as Syracuse is expected to experience totality in just a few moments. Well, now let's turn to a live look at the eclipse. Right now it's a little bit cloudy and the partial eclipse began a little over an hour ago, so now is the time to try and head outside. Hopefully those clouds will clear up soon because it's going to start in just a little over 10 minutes. Now, the last time Syracuse was in a path of totality was in 1925, and it won't happen again for more than 350 years. Totality is when the moon, earth, and sun perfectly align to block the sun's light. It will last for just about 90 seconds starting at 3:23 p.m. Now, many tourists are flocking to central New York to catch the rare event. Our Jacob Goldberg reports on how one town has been preparing.
Watertown, a city of just over 20,000, will grow tenfold when tourists from all over come to the North Country for a once-in-a-lifetime event, the 2024 solar eclipse. But with excitement comes challenges. Mayor Sarah Pierce says that the city has been planning this event with safety in mind.
We've been doing our best to plan a very nice event, an enjoyable, safe event for all these people who will be coming to the city.
One of the biggest safety concerns is eclipse glasses, something that is necessary for viewing the event.
You know, it's very important to have a pair of glasses just to protect your own eyes, protect your family members' eyes, and it's something that can be shared among, those who are around you. So if you've got a group of people with you, a small group, you can kind of pass a pair along. That's what I plan to do at home, and we can, all get a chance to see something that's once in a lifetime.
Mayor Pierce and others here at the Watertown City Hall, they think that the struggles of this event might be worth it in the end.
There's also the economic impact, so we've been doing what we can through our Eclipse committee to prepare local businesses and to make sure that they understand, hey, this is a great opportunity to do a little bit of extra business, or actually a lot of extra business with all the people in the area.
A phenomenon so rare it hasn't happened in nearly 100 years, and that is why the city is leaning into being the best spot to watch.
Things have to line up perfectly, and we have to be in just the right spot in our country in order to see totality, and it's something that we kind of take for granted where we live and just kind of go about our everyday lives, but we're really getting lucky this time around, so we're really excited.
Reporting in Watertown, Jacob Goldberg, Citrus TV News.
Thank you, Jacob. We now go to team coverage. Our reporters Anjana Dasam and Tyler Oldano. Anjana, we'll start with you. This eclipse has been going on for over an hour, and how has SU been celebrating?
Thanks, Cora. Well, right now I'm on the quad where SU is hosting their solar eclipse viewing event. As you can see, there's so many people out here getting outside on blankets, got them out their glasses, got their cameras out. They're just here to have a good time. And I had the opportunity to speak with some students here about their experience during this event.
Pretty good. I mean, it's not much to say, but I'm happy I'm finally be able to get out of my dorm and actually feel the sun. I mean, what's left?
Well, as you can see here, there's a lot of cheering going on every time we see that moon move slightly over the sun. So Syracuse has come prepared. That's all I have for right now. Cora, back to you.
Well, Anjana, that looks like the place to be. Thank you. Now, Tyler, over to you. Many of these students are wearing these same glasses. Now, why is it so important for us to wear?
Thank you, Courtney. And while the eclipse may seem exciting, experts are warning people to take proper precautions while looking at the sun. I spoke to some of these experts and they explained the risks that come with gazing at today's monumental event.
You've been reading about it since you were 8 years old, but a picture can't do it justice, a video can't do it justice.
Those are the words of Deborah Ross. She sits on the American Astronomical Society's Solar Eclipse Task Force. She observed the eclipse back in 2017 and says there's nothing like seeing it with your own eyes.
It is just the most eerie, strange thing that you can have an experience like that here on Earth.
But despite the beauty of the eclipse, she warns that people should maintain caution while looking at it. To find out more, we spoke to ophthalmologist Dr. Eugene Gullingsrud about the risks that come with an eclipse.
What are some of the possible negative effects that an eclipse could cause on your eyes?
The main symptoms would be either seeing black spots, some people have described seeing yellow spots, light sensitivity. Some people get headaches as well.
While staring at the sun isn't something you should do normally, Dr. Gollingsrud says that with the help of the moon, the eclipse can cause more solar damage to the eyes than normal.
Yeah, so the best way to think about it in some ways is almost like one of those laser pointer lights, because all the rays become concentrated, and that's what we don't want to happen through the iris of our eyes back to the retina.
Despite what you may hear, Dr. Gollingsrud says that the easiest way to prevent any damage while looking at the sun is to grab a pair of specially made solar eclipse glasses.
These are the only way to go. It's almost like taking 100 sunglasses and putting them together.
Even though there's risk, he encourages others to take part in the event as long as they're being safe.
Yeah, I would say go for it, for sure. I'm going to be trying to watch the eclipse if the weather conditions are good enough, but it's always key to be safety oriented.
Now, there is one time we'll actually have to take off those glasses to see the eclipse, and that's during the totality where the world goes completely dark, which should be happening in just a few moments now. So, Cora, I'm going to swing it back to you.
Thank you, Tyler. And speaking of that, the time is currently 3:21. We're now taking a live look at the sun and moon as we experience totality. As you can see on your screens, right now the sun is almost completely covered by the moon. And during totality, you'll be able to see what they call the corona of the sun. So that's the outermost of the sun. We'll be able to be seeing that soon as we take the live look. There's clouds right now, but luckily we are able to see a little bit past it. Temperatures should be going down a little bit more than usual because, again, it's going to be completely dark outside. Our reporter Tyler O'Donnell will have more live coverage of that, all and more, as we take a look at totality.
If you look up at the sky right now, you'll be able to see all of the, actually, if you're looking outside, the clouds might be blocking some of it, but it's just peeking below that edge where the moon is actually coming in front of the sky and the world begins to darken slightly. Now, this is very important. Make sure you're wearing these solar eclipse glasses, as even though it's starting to get dark, you have to wait till the whole totality begins in order to actually just experience this without the risk of eye damage. Keep those glasses on if you're worried, or you can use something called a pinhole projector, where you can poke holes in an object and watch as the shadows actually mimic that of the moon. We can see here it's actually just now getting dark, progressively darker, and as the sun just keeps on moving in between, you're going to see that just keep on getting darker. And people have actually said that there are some the eclipse is linked to some other certain events, and with there's stuff happening in the quad right now with a lot of people getting darker. There you go, and that's the eclipse getting darker and darker and darker. If you take a live look at the quad, you can actually hear people enjoying themselves, screaming and having fun. There's many events that are happening right now that are just causing, because of the eclipse, a lot of science events, a lot of just a breathtaking sound. I can't actually formulate my words at the moment. So there's just a lot of wonderful events happening. The totality is just continuing to keep on going forward. And the moon is just now coming in front of the sun. We see that peeking around the edges there as the world begins to darken. Those little beads on the side are actually because of, somebody's even shooting off fireworks right now, trying to enjoy the festivities, having a little bit of noise, excitement going on. Excuse me if you can hear that in the audio. People are just having a great time right now. People are celebrating, people are having a wonderful time. You can see if you look up at the sky, the moon is just coming out over the edge, and it's continuing to have that bright flare on the side. And make sure to keep those glasses on if you're worried about some of that eye damage, which could possibly happen. Temporary or possibly permanent damage could come from all of this. Make sure to keep that in mind as you're watching. And even though it's cloudy, you can still get some sun damage. So make sure you actually just keep those glasses on and be as safe as you can. So I'm just going to keep on going forward. The moon is still in front of the sun, just barely glimpsing around the side. The sun is beginning to show itself yet again. It's kind of coming along the side. It's completely dark outside. All the cars are actually using their headlights, and I think we even have our wonderful Cora Mayer-Costa out with us right now.
So even the weather has chilled a bit over here. Breezes are less. The birds have stopped chirping. That is a feature of the total eclipse too. The birds will stop chirping, and you've noticed that now. It's completely quiet. It's almost as if the world has paused right now.
Exactly.
This is incredibly historical. You can see right now it looks like, I can't even compare it. It's really a unique experience to have with the sun filtering through the rays, trying to get past that moon, and wow, it's just a beautiful phenomenon.
Absolutely, Cora. I couldn't have said it better myself. And the sky is just beginning to brighten up a little bit as totality ends. Sky's beginning to brighten up, as totality ends. Cars are still having their headlights on, but the street lights are on as well. People are walking about, enjoying the area as totality continues, and the light is just beginning to come back and crestfallen to the world we know now, and totality ends. And the eclipse continues back in its partial phase again as it's coming out from the other side of the moon that it just entered from. Make sure to have those glasses on, as looking at the sun without those glasses could cause, as I said before, major eye damage that could be temporary or even permanent. Even though the clouds are there, it's not a reason to even risk it. If you're worried, you can use something called a pinhole projector, as I mentioned earlier. Poke up 3 holes inside of the object and inside of some cardboard and watch the reflection where the shadow of the moon exits the sun, and you see that will continue to brighten up, which I'm sure you're looking at a wonderful plot now. But that's all I have for me. Back to you guys.
Tyler, thank you. Thank you so much, Tyler. It's really been amazing phenomenon too. Last time I saw the eclipse, it was a partial solar eclipse, so it wasn't as monumental as today right now. These don't happen too often. The next time that we will see one of these completely total eclipses won't be until 2399, if I remember correctly. Now, that's a long time for me. So this is truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience that we all will have here at Citrus TV. And continuing off of that, even though there will be one in 2026, that is globally. So that's going to happen more in the Spain region, Eastern Greenland too. So that's what we could expect to see where the solar eclipse is headed next. I mean, it's just really amazing. Just looking at it now, it's monumental. I mean, I remember seeing it with all of my family in Jersey back in 2017, I believe, which was the partial eclipse. And it's just beautiful. I mean, we're just so lucky to be here at Syracuse where we could see a complete totality. It's monumental again, so it's been very precious to see this. Now, moving on to the importance of colors too in the eclipse, there's a reason why you see a lot of us wearing red today. Me, Anjana, Tyler, we're all wearing red. So that's because both reds and greens may seem darker before and after totality because of the Purkinje effect. Now, this effect happens when our eyes and brains adjust to the change in the light after the moon blocks the sun. So it's similar to how you would expect when you walk out of a movie theater, your eyes adjust because it's going right from darkness to that brightness of the sun outside. It's exactly that effect. So your brain and eyes are both adjusting at the same time, and it changes the way you perceive color. Now, right now, I'm wearing a little bit of red. Maybe it looks duller to you because of the solar eclipse. It especially works in person. And so it's very interesting. Let's go take a look back at the solar eclipse, a live look at it, if we can. Oh yeah, look at that. It's much lighter out. You could see the moon is shifting back away from the sun. So it will be moving on to Maine. We are one of the last places in upstate New York to see this. So it's very monumental and it's very amazing. We're going to take a look back out on the quad at students' reactions, which I think they all should be as impressed as me. Anjana, what's happening?
Thanks, Cora. Well, I'm here with Amanda Dubos, who just experienced Eclipse with us. How do you feel just experiencing that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity here in Syracuse?
It was really interesting to experience it with a different group. I actually got to see the eclipse in 2017 in Kansas City as well, and so it was really neat for how dark it got and how everybody came together to celebrate. You know, folks clapping, and you'd hear "ooh" every time it would peek out from behind the clouds. So it was really neat to celebrate with other people as well.
Great, yeah. And you noticed that temperature drop. Like, how did that feel? Just seeing that physical change here.
Oh, it was really neat. You could feel your hands getting colder. Mine are still cold, and it dropped about 10 degrees. So,
great. Thank you so much, Cora. Back to you.
So much, Anjana. The quad looks very fun, and that concludes the Citrus TV special report. Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now, for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Cora Mayer-Costa. News continues in just under 2 hours on the Citrus TV Now. Have a great day, Syracuse, and an even brighter tomorrow.